If you showed up at a cocktail party or a networking event and all you wanted to do was talk about your business, very quickly people would move away from you. Well, the same thing happens on social media. If you want to have high quality interactions, you got to bring your whole self to the party. You've got to bring a little bit of personality into every interaction. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, here's the show.
Welcome to More Than a Few Words, a marketing conversation for business owners. MTFW is part of the Digital Toolbox from Roundpeg. And this is your host, Lorraine Ball. And today we're going to talk about personal branding. And I can't think of a better person to have that conversation with than Karie Millspaugh. She's a visibility consultant specializing in PR and marketing for speakers, authors, public figures, and small business owners. She helps clients be seen online, in the media, and on stage with her public relations, marketing, and speaking agency. Karie herself is a public speaker, a best-selling author, and designates most of her time empowering her audience in entrepreneurship, leadership, and business. She calls herself a serial entrepreneur because she's started multiple businesses over the years. She thoroughly believes that in order to be known, you must first be seen, which is why she started her 2 agencies. And in between, Karie resides in Las Vegas as a single mom with her fun-loving teen daughter who's working on creating her own business. Karie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Lorraine. I'm excited to be here and give some value to your listeners.
Oh, I'm so excited that you could join us because I love this topic of personal branding. And, these days with all of the social media, I think there's always that question of how much of yourself should you show off on social media? So let's start there.
I love that. That's a great starting point. There is a lot of noise out there, and we have more platforms to utilize that are free, as we kind of even touched base on a little bit earlier, that is right at our fingertips. Why not share who you are? Now, my beautiful part of bringing out the personal brand in any of my clients, and most of all, I love to point them into really showing their personality. There's only you're one make and model. There's no 2 of you alike on the planet unless somehow you figured out the cloning mechanism. But I think it's pretty safe to say we're good to go on you being your own unique self. And that is the key, literally one of the keys that I teach and train my clients on creating their first personal brand. A lot of them come out and go, well, how much do I share? The key is in order to create connection, we have to be authentic. Brene Brown's really good at kind of shoving that message down our throats these days. And I think we're getting that message slowly that we can't relate to perfect. We need you to be authentic. That's where we kind of lean in and want to know more about that person. So the key is to share as much of your personality as possible. I like to golf. I'll throw things out there about me golfing. People want to create that relationship first, and then they ask, what do you do for a living? So show them that side of yourself. I wouldn't share the trials that you're going through at this very second, kind of bring that back a little bit to a minimum. But share your fun self. If you like baseball, share that with you. We want to show our commonality and things that can be relatable. So I think you should just be all out. Be authentic as you can be.
When you go networking and you're sitting around over stale Danish and coffee, you don't just talk about business. You talk about what you did for the weekend. If all you do is sound like a copy of your brochure and you're very wooden and very professional, nobody's going to want to spend any time with you. But if you've got like a funny anecdote of something that you've done, suddenly you become the most popular person in the room.
Exactly. Show us your fun stuff. Quirky people are the best to have fun with. I'm a natural silly person. I'm one of 5 kids, and if you didn't have a personality, you didn't stand out. You had to be loud and sparkly for just to get to some attention with mom and dad. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to be different and show that. That's what your unique flavor is. Everyone's trying to be vanilla because they think it's safe, but that's not going to get you seen in the noise. You've got to be strawberry if that's who you want to be. And those that like strawberry are going to show up, and that's the key to converting people into clients or potential business opportunities. Be you.
So, one of the things I hear from people is they're afraid that they won't. And I think this is particularly common with women, may be concerned about that they won't be taken seriously professionally if they let too much of who they are shine through. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's 100% a trigger. Okay, so I'll share my own vulnerability. I'm a blonde, and a lot of people stereotype blondes as being ditzy. And
Mhm.
I've always worked with a lot of men, a very heavy industry. This public speaking keynote industry's got a lot, it's very male dominated. My past corporate gigs have always been around 98% male. So I've had to fight that going into a room as a speaker or maybe the educator or even just the person running the meeting that day. I can feel that you walk in. So a lot of it sometimes is just to make fun of yourself. That's the
Mhm.
key. If you can make fun of yourself, no one else can make fun of you. You've already done it. You've checked that box. So you can't take yourself too seriously. Sometimes a little joke offhand will make them laugh and then come at them with your expertise. Then show them your value. Then show them your brains, your knowledge, your experience. But
Mhm.
it's okay. I posted a video recently of my bloopers of one of my video blogs. When I
Mhm.
first saw it, my editor, I think he has too much free time on his hands, but he sent it to me as a funny joke. And I noticed I say, okay, all the time in between my blogs. So this particular blooper, at first I was offended and then I just started busting out laughing. I couldn't wait to share it. That video got more views than my regular video blog. So it's
Mhm.
okay to poke fun at yourself. Don't take yourself so seriously. People will see that light energy and jump in, and want to play too.
I think that's really good advice. As you're thinking about your personality, do you adjust when you shift from a platform like Facebook to a platform like LinkedIn?
Absolutely, 100%. Facebook is more of a playful energy. People go there to escape the workday. They might be in a mundane meeting and log into Facebook because they just need a couple minutes to give their brain a break. Facebook is 80% personal, 20% business. LinkedIn is the exact opposite. People go there for education. They want to see articles. Your majority of your platform is white collar professionals, so they're not going to want to see a picture of your puppy or maybe you riding a bike or whatever that looks like. So I'm very minimal sharing my personal life on LinkedIn. It's more 80% professional, 20% personal. What's interesting though is because LinkedIn is so heavily saturated with the corporate heavy content that when I do throw in a silly golf picture or me doing something goofy, I get a lot of views. There's a lot more. It's a pattern interrupt to throw in that
Mhm.
curveball once in a while. Like, oh, she is a human. She's not just all business. She's got a silly side, or she enjoys doing these types of sports, or this is her favorite concert or live music band. So it's fun to do that. And again, same with Facebook. It's a pattern interrupt to throw in, oh, and I'm also a businesswoman too, guys. I know you think I'm just the single mom out here having fun or living in Las
Mhm.
Vegas and doing whatever the city provides, to throw in a little bit of education or business in there too again. So that's kind of the two main platforms I use for business. And I'd like to remind my clients to keep it professional, keep it buttoned up in LinkedIn, but throw them a curveball once in a while. You'd be surprised at how many views you get.
Absolutely. A few years ago, we were having a little bit of fun in the office. We have two full time office cats, and we were doing live training, but we had to let people know that we have cats because if they have cat allergies, that's a problem of somebody coming into the building. And so my designer did this really fun little ad, and the headline was free kittens, and there's training too. And then we did another ad that was more about the training. That free kitten post did so well and actually generated more registrations than the more stoic join us for a conversation on marketing and then in tiny little print. And by the way, we have office cats, so take your Claritin.
Exactly. Cats always sell, I have to say. I've never seen an ad with a cat that hasn't worked. Brilliant
Yeah.
on you guys.
Well, but okay, so now I'm going to tell you the funny thing is on Facebook, we ran both ads. On Facebook, the business ad did better.
Interesting. It's the pattern
Because every
interrupt.
other post is a cat on LinkedIn, on Facebook.
Yes. Or a dog or a baby or someone's lunch.
Yeah, so I think it really reinforces what you're talking about with that pattern interrupt.
Yes. Yep. Throw them a
Awesome.
curveball. Works like magic.
Carrie, this has been awesome. I can't believe how fast the time has whizzed by. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
I love it. Absolutely fabulous to be here. Thank you.
I'm going to really encourage everybody who's listening to drop by kariemillspaugh.com, and there'll be a link to it from the show notes to learn more about Karie and what she's been up to, and also to look for her on social media. Karie, thanks again.
Thank you, Lorraine. It's been a pleasure.
If you've enjoyed today's conversation and you'd like to find other resources for small business owners, be sure to check out Digital Toolbox at digitaltoolboxin.com. Subscribe to More Than a Few Words so that you never miss another episode. And leave a review. We'd love to hear from you. This has been another episode